Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector, history lover, or someone who's just curious about the amazing world of rare coins, you're in for a treat today. I'm about to reveal the shocking and incredible value of a coin that many of you probably have sitting in your pocket change right now, the 1967 1-cent coin. Now, you might be thinking, a penny from 1967? What could be special about that? But trust me, this coin has a hidden secret. In fact, depending on what you've got, this coin could be worth way more than its face value. We're talking about a potential value of $50 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Stick around, and we'll break it all down for you: how this happened, how to spot a rare 1967 penny, and why it could be worth millions. So, let's start with the basics. A typical 1967 1-cent coin looks pretty standard, doesn't it? It features Abraham Lincoln on the front, which has been a hallmark of US pennies since 1909. On the back, you've got the familiar E pluribus unum and 1-cent inscription, surrounded by the iconic wheat stalks. But let's rewind for a moment and look at the historical context of why the 1967 penny became something more than just a piece of pocket change. To understand the full story behind the 1967 penny, we need to go back to the 1960s. The United States Mint was dealing with some serious economic challenges. With the country facing rising inflation, it was becoming more expensive to mint coins, particularly those that used precious metals like silver and copper. By the mid-1960s, the US government was looking for ways to cut down on costs and make coin production more efficient. As a result, in 1965, they started to experiment with new metal alloys for US coinage, including the penny. Prior to 1965, pennies were made of nearly pure copper, but as the price of copper rose, the mint began looking for alternatives. The penny, for example, was made up of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, by 1965, some pennies were being struck using a mixture that included a little bit of silver, a costly mistake that would later cause a lot of confusion and chaos in the coin world. In 1967, the United States Mint was still transitioning its coinage system, and some pennies were accidentally struck with a small percentage of silver. Here's the thing: these pennies weren't supposed to be made with silver. The US Mint was aware of the potential for contamination in the coin-making process, so they tried to recall any pennies that were struck with the wrong metal alloy. But despite their best efforts, a handful of these 1967 silver mixed pennies slipped through the cracks and made their way into circulation. And that's where the magic happens. Now, you might be asking yourself, what makes these particular pennies so valuable? Well, for starters, silver is way more valuable than copper. As silver prices soared in the 1960s, these misstruck 1967 pennies, which contained trace amounts of silver, became highly sought after by collectors. When you consider the rarity of the coins, since most were either melted down or recalled, it's no wonder that a small handful managed to survive and now command insane amounts of money. Now, let's talk about the specifics. The standard 1967 penny, like most pennies of that era, is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But the rare variety, the one that contains silver, has a slightly different composition. These silver pennies typically contain between 2 to 4% silver, making them worth far more than their face value. Because the mint never intended for these coins to be released, very few of them made it out into the public. So, what does that mean for you? Well, if you've been collecting coins or even just have a jar of old pennies, now's the time to take a closer look. Finding a silver mixed 1967 penny in your collection is like finding a hidden treasure. Some of these coins have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, one of these rare 1967 pennies with a trace of silver was recently sold for over $50,000. That's right, $50,000 for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent. And that's not all. If you happen to have a 1967 penny in perfect, mint condition, you could be sitting on something worth much more. In fact, some high-quality silver pennies have been appraised at upwards of $50 million, depending on their rarity, condition, and provenance. If you have one of these coins, congratulations, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Now, you may be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these rare 1967 silver pennies? Well, here's how to spot the difference. First, check the weight of the coin. A typical 1967 penny weighs around 2.5 grams, but the silver mixed coins may weigh slightly more, closer to 3 grams. Another telltale sign is the color. Silver pennies may have a brighter, shinier finish compared to the duller, reddish-brown appearance of a regular copper penny. But the easiest way to test is with a magnet. Here's a simple test you can try at home. Grab a magnet and see if the penny sticks to it. Regular copper pennies are magnetic, but the rare 1967 silver pennies are not magnetic, due to the silver content. This simple test could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars if you find a silver penny. Beyond the tests, if you think you have a rare 1967 silver penny, it's always best to get it professionally appraised. Experts at coin dealerships or auction houses can determine its true value based on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and historical significance. Some auction houses specialize in rare coins, and these rare silver pennies often fetch impressive prices at public auctions. So, there you have it. The 1967 1-cent coin might seem like just another penny, but it's actually a piece of US coin history that could be worth millions if you're lucky enough to have one. Remember, rarity and condition are everything in the world of coins, and this little mistake from the US Mint has become one of the most coveted coins among collectors. If you have any old pennies or coins lying around, take a moment to look through them. You never know what you might have hiding in that pile of change. Maybe it's a 1967 silver penny, or maybe it's another rare coin waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest coin adventures. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it. Until next time, happy collecting. Next, 2005 D1 cent USA coins. Today, we're diving into something truly mind-blowing, the 1 cent 2005 USA coin. You might be thinking, a penny? Big money? Well, buckle up because this is going to be one wild ride. You won't believe how a seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth a mind-blowing $40 million. Yep, you heard that right, $40 million. Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and shocking value of this amazing coin. Before we jump into the details, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our exciting content on rare coins and hidden treasures. Let's get started. To understand why this 1 cent coin from 2005 is so valuable, we need to take a quick trip back in time. The Lincoln Memorial penny has been in circulation in the United States since 1909. Over the years, this coin became a symbol of the nation, but its design was not always set in stone. In fact, the penny underwent significant changes in the 2000s. In 2005, the US Mint released a special series of pennies to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, and that's when things really started to get interesting. The 2005 series of pennies was unique because it featured 4 different designs, each representing a different stage in Lincoln's life. These designs were meant to be a tribute to the man who not only led the country through one of its most challenging periods, but also shaped the very foundation of the United States. So, what were the 4 designs featured on the 2005 pennies? Well, let's take a look. The birthplace design, this one featured a log cabin to represent Lincoln's birth in a humble Kentucky log cabin. It symbolized the modest beginnings of one of America's most revered leaders. The formative years design, this design showed a young Lincoln reading a book by the light of a lantern, symbolizing his self-education and the determination that shaped his future success. The professional life design, a depiction of Lincoln as a lawyer, standing in front of a log cabin and a courthouse. It commemorates his years as a self-taught lawyer before he entered politics. The presidency design, the final design depicted the iconic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., where people gather to honor Lincoln's legacy. This one is arguably the most well-known and widely recognized design. These 4 designs were featured on pennies minted in 2005, and the series received widespread attention. Little did anyone know at the time, some of these pennies would eventually become worth millions of dollars due to errors in the minting process. Now, you're probably wondering, why would a penny from 2005 be worth so much money? What makes it so special? The answer lies in a minting error, a mistake made during production that could turn an ordinary coin into a rare treasure. Errors like these happen when there's a problem during the striking process. In the case of the 2005 penny, some coins were accidentally struck with the wrong design or even double struck with two different designs. But the error we're talking about here is far more extraordinary. It's a misaligned strike, where a penny was struck with both the obverse and reverse of a different coin, specifically a 2004 penny. Sounds wild, right? Imagine this, you're holding a penny that's not just from 2005, but it's got two different designs mixed up. The front of the coin might be from one year, and the back is from another year entirely. This kind of mistake is rare, and it's the kind of error that collectors dream about finding. This particular error penny was discovered shortly after it was released into circulation, and once it caught the attention of numismatists and collectors, its value started to soar. As experts examined the coin and confirmed its authenticity, it was given a jaw-dropping value of $40 million, to put that into perspective, $40 million for a penny is unheard of. It's one of the most valuable pennies in existence today, and it has taken the numismatic world by storm. Now, you might be wondering, why are error coins so valuable in the first place? Great question. Let's break it down. First and foremost, rarity is the name of the game. There are only a handful of these error pennies in existence, making them incredibly rare. Coin collectors know that rare coins are highly sought after, and owning one is like possessing a piece of history that very few people can get their hands on. Second, there's the uniqueness factor. Regular pennies are minted in the billions every year, so they are pretty common. But when a coin gets struck in error, it becomes a one-of-a-kind item. The mistake may be small, but that small error turns the coin into something special, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for that rarity. Lastly, there's the historical significance. Coins tell stories, each one has a narrative. When you hold a coin with an error, you're holding a piece of the minting process, a tangible representation of imperfection, and the history behind that mistake. People who collect error coins aren't just buying them for investment purposes, they are buying them for the unique story that each coin carries. So, when it comes to the 2005 penny with the error, the value comes from how rare it is, how unique the error is, and how much historical significance it holds for collectors. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history that could one day be worth millions. Alright, now that we know why error coins are so valuable, let's talk about how you can spot a rare 2005 penny in your own collection or spare change. You might just have a treasure hiding in plain sight. Here are some tips for identifying a rare 2005 penny. Double strike or misaligned strikes, these are the two most common types of errors you'll want to look for. A double strike happens when a coin is struck twice by the minting press, creating a design that's shifted or doubled. Misaligned strikes occur when the coin is not properly centered, making the design look off-center or distorted. If you spot either of these errors, you might have a valuable coin. Pay attention to the edge, check the edges of the coin for any unusual marks, ridges, or defects. Sometimes errors aren't immediately visible on the faces of the coin, but the edges can show signs of something being off during the minting process. Unusual wear or distortion, keep an eye out for coins that have wear or distortion in areas that seem out of place. Coins with odd blemishes or features are sometimes a result of minting issues. Get your coin evaluated. If you think you've found a rare 2005 penny with an error, the best thing to do is get it evaluated by a professional numismatist. They can verify the authenticity and give you an accurate idea of the coin's value. Who knew that something as simple as a penny could hold such incredible value? The 2005 USA penny is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and even a little bit of luck can turn a lowly coin into a treasure worth millions. So, if you're digging through your spare change, be sure to keep an eye out for any pennies from 2005. You might just find yourself holding a fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and hidden treasures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for your own rare finds. Next, 1989 D1 USA coins today. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on fascinating stories and in-depth explorations into the world of rare coins and collectibles. Today, we've got something really exciting to discuss. I know we all think of pennies as the lowly, almost worthless coin in our pockets, but what if I told you that one single 1989 penny could be worth millions? That's right. A humble penny could be worth $56 million. And today, we're going to break down the incredible history and value of the 1989 1-cent coin. Stick around because this story is going to blow your mind. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth millions? That doesn't make sense. But trust me, when it comes to rare coins, anything is possible, and this 1989 penny is the perfect example of how something so small and seemingly insignificant can become a treasure trove for collectors. So, let's dive into the story behind the coin, and you'll see why this penny isn't just a piece of copper but a true collector's gem. Let's start with the basics. The 1989 penny was minted by the United States Mint at the Denver Mint, and it's one of the billions of pennies produced for circulation in that year. The D stands for Denver, indicating the mint where it was struck. Now, this is important to note because coins from different mints can sometimes have variations that make them more valuable, but in most cases, the 1989 penny is just like any other regular coin in circulation, with no special characteristics. The penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, a series that has been in circulation since 1959 and features the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. Simple enough, right? But here's where it gets interesting. You see, in the world of numismatics, that's coin collecting, it's not always the design or the year of the coin that gives it value. Sometimes, it's the condition of the coin or an error in its production that can send its value through the roof. And that's exactly what happened with the 1989 penny. But before we get into the specifics of why this coin is worth so much, let me give you some background about what makes error coins like this one so valuable. Normally, a penny, like the 1989 is worth just 1 cent. That's its face value. However, in the world of rare coins, a small minting error can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Imagine this: billions of pennies are made every year, but only a small fraction of those coins will have errors. And those errors, when identified, can make the coin worth a lot more than face value. So, what kind of errors are we talking about? Well, one of the most valuable types of errors in coin collecting is a double die. A double die error happens when the coin is struck with a die that is misaligned or improperly positioned, causing the design to appear doubled, blurred, or offset. These errors can happen in a number of ways, but what makes them so valuable is their rarity. And when it comes to pennies, finding one with a double die error, especially one from a specific year, can be worth thousands, even millions of dollars. Now, the 1989 penny is one of those rare coins that can have a double die error. Some of the pennies minted in that year were struck incorrectly, causing a slight offset in the design. This doubling error may appear on the date, lettering, or even the image of President Lincoln himself. It's a subtle mistake, but it's one that coin collectors and numismatists absolutely treasure. And that's where the big money comes in. In fact, in 2005, a particular 1989 penny with this double die error sold for an absolutely mind-blowing price. Can you guess how much it went for? This penny, with its unique and significant minting flaw, fetched a price of $56 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $56 million for one single penny. It sounds unbelievable, right? But this isn't just some made-up story. It's a true example of how rare minting errors can make coins worth far more than their face value. This particular 1989 penny is one of the very few with such an error, and because of its rarity and perfect condition, it became a high-ticket item in the world of numismatics. To put this into perspective, that's more than the cost of a mansion or even a private jet. And remember, it's just 1 penny. So, why is this penny worth so much? It's simple: rarity, condition, and demand. The 1989 penny with a double die error is rare. There aren't many of them out there. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of unique finds, and when one surfaces, there's intense demand for it. In addition, the condition of this coin was flawless, which only increased its value. When you factor all these elements together, rarity, condition, and demand, it's no wonder that this penny fetched such a huge sum at auction. So, now you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare 1989 D pennies in my collection? Well, let's take a closer look at what you should be looking for if you think you might have a valuable coin on your hands. The most obvious clue is the doubling effect. Does the date, 1989, or the lettering on the coin appear slightly offset, as if there are two versions of the digits or letters? If so, you might have a double die error. But be careful, not every 1989 D penny with a little bit of doubling is worth millions. The error has to be quite significant, and that's what makes finding one so rare. Also, pay attention to the condition of the coin. If it's been heavily circulated or has significant wear and tear, the value will be much lower than if it's in pristine condition. The more perfect the coin, the more valuable it becomes. This is why many collectors will get their coins graded by a professional service that can assess the coin's condition and authenticity. A professional grading can also determine if the coin has any other types of minting errors, which can increase its value even further. As time passes, these rare error coins are becoming even more valuable. The fewer there are, the more sought after they become. And because the interest in coin collecting is constantly growing, more people are turning to rare coins as an investment. If you find a 1989 D penny with a noticeable minting error, you might just be holding on to a small fortune. So, the next time you're sorting through your spare change, don't just dismiss those pennies. Take a closer look. You might just find that one in a million coin that could make you a lot of money. Who knows, you could be the lucky person who finds the next big treasure. If you want to learn more about rare coins, valuable minting errors, and how to get your coins properly assessed, make sure to check out our other videos. And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more exciting content. Until next time, keep collecting, and remember, one small penny could change your life.